again, on to part 2 of immunity and possible ideas for sickness. Okay, so we are now back to my notes. Okay, so now we're at some ideas, some more lessons. So, our body, our defense mechanism works against itself. It creates problems instead of solving them. Whether our signal gets crossed or the process kicks into high gear, the body may fight itself when there's no real reason to engage. The result of this overreaction is chronic illness in the heart, the nerves, the lungs, the joints, and everywhere, hence sounds like Sjogren's. The Center for Disease Control offers some interesting and frightening statistics regarding chronic disease. Chronic disease is responsible for 7 out of 10 deaths. About 1/2 of all adults live with a chronic disease. Autoimmune diseases are chronic diseases in which the body attacks itself through out-of-control inflammation. Besides genetics, dietary factors play a major role in autoimmune diseases. For example, studies have shown that people with certain types of autoimmune diseases have a greater intolerance of gluten and higher rise of developing celiac disease. Now, I don't necessarily agree with the last part about the diet, but okay. So, what I think has happened to me now, going about, reading about, the different body overreaction. I've talked to many of my doctors I've talked to many of my doctors about the situation. My husband Chris and I've talked about this. My family's talked about this. I don't know if you guys can see, sometimes my hands get like this red and white weird, they call it muddling, I think. It's where your hands kind of turn red and there's little white weird, it's supposed to be a vascular thing. I don't know if it comes through. Anywho, sorry, I get sidetracked. We've talked about this, that sometimes I forget that I had a ablation surgery, which I talked about, a little heart surgery, and I do forget that that can be a major surgery and a trauma to the body. When I had that surgery, on my right vein, where they went up and they went through my heart, I had a very large hematoma that when I woke up, they were pushing on that, and they had to hold pressure on that for I think like about 10 minutes or so. I can't quite remember. It was bleeding pretty good though, and so it was about 10 minutes before it stopped, and I'm not kidding, it was about like that big on my thigh where they inserted that. And it took about, at least I'd say, a month to go away. It was a pretty good sized situation. So, what if, my body was already kind of, not doing so good, let's say, because I've always kind of been a little sickly, but, whatever, you push through it, and just, that's how it is. And let's say my body started reacting to that ablation surgery. Here I had it in my heart, had it in my leg, and my immune system went into overdrive, and all of a sudden it just turned on itself. It went on too long. What if the free radicals were in there? All of a sudden, things got bigger, bouncing around in there, breaking into other cells. Also, I think I mentioned the leaky gut syndrome. I've never had a good, I've always had constipation problems. So what if then all of a sudden, I'm having that problem, more constipation because of the medication? I will totally admit that there was a stretch where I was not eating very well. So a lot of factors kind of piled on top of each other. I do think that my heart surgery played a part in my situation. I don't blame anyone but myself for that. I really just kind of went into that surgery Maybe I should have thought about it more, but I had Paige about 6 months before that, and we went to the zoo, and I got sick there and almost passed out, and I just was tired of having that issue. And instead of maybe being a little more cautious about that or having a stress test, I just kind of did it. So, the more I was thinking about that and really going over that in my mind, I thought, well, what if that's kind of what set off my system? As maybe that's what stressed out my body, and because I never, for whatever reason, thought or took it seriously as a serious surgery, because it was just a little, in the heart, little like cigarette lighter thing, like in the car, a little push thing. So maybe that was what just sent my body over the edge, and then my immune system said, okay, everyone, let's get it on. And then all of a sudden, things started snowballing, and my immune system went crazy, and there you go. So I don't know, maybe that's a thought. I'm just trying to put together, for myself and kind of be a little detective. I don't know if that helps any of you guys, if anyone out there can think of something in your mind of, well, maybe I had this or that, or this is weird or that's weird. And like even right now, this part of my arm, sorry, I'm backwards in here, this whole arm was the one that was cold, and I couldn't use very well. Right now, it's like right in here, it's like little tiny knives, like ice picks, and it's freezing. Like this arm, not so much. This arm, super cold, and it just, like right in here, it kind of like burns, but it's cold. I don't know if anyone's ever had like a burning cold sensation. Sorry, things just kind of pop up and pop all over. I'm so sorry, I get distracted. So I don't know if I've made complete sense here, but I think that, the diet can play part of it. But for myself, when I got sick, I was eating really quite clean. I've always been into health. Now, I'm not saying that I was an angel with health. I'm not saying, like I said the other night, that I'm not allergic to gluten. I'm not saying I'm not, I'm the best eater ever. I just don't feel that it is as big a deal as other people think. I think that our immune systems are just freaking out. And I think that what I have read makes quite a bit of sense. Since 6 months after my surgery, my body freaked out. Now, whether Sjogren's was just this, and then whatever else happened, was caused by the free radicals and things bouncing around, or food or whatever, I don't know. I don't have that answer. But to me, from hearing that, maybe that's what happened, is my body just went, okay, you've been doing way too much crap to yourself, and now we're done. So, that's my idea for the day, and that's my lesson for today, I guess, Immunity 101. So anyway, I'm going to sign off now. So I hope everyone's had a great lesson, and hopefully I've made sense, and I hope everyone has a wonderful and sunshiny day. Bye.